All right, so I made something today, and I even gave the belt sander a little blood sacrifice. But what this is a belt version of the V44X. So if you can see that right above there, that this is my first deployment knife. That's a Becker BK7. So I wanted something about that size, and that's what I came up with. Let me show you this compared to the V44X. All right, the top portion is pretty much the same if you like that upper handle guard area, but I took about 3/4 of an inch off of the handle, but I kept the pommel mostly the same. I just took some out of this area in the middle of the grip. And so this whole knife is 13 inches, and the sharpened part is about 7 3/8. So let's see. Just so you guys can get an idea of the dimensions. All right, so I'm not sure what I'm going to call this yet. I'm thinking about calling it the Field Utility or the Field Combat something. Just not sure yet. I'll think of something. But since it's hard to compare 3D objects to 2D, let's see if I can just show you guys some sizes with the scales. So this is a Lucas Carroll set of grips, so you can kind of see how that compares. And this is a Becker scale. All right, here is a Becker BK7 compared to my knife. It's actually almost the exact length when you include that little pommel piece on the end. And let's see, put the Rat 7 next to it. All right, so there's the Rat 7 compared to it. And let's see, I'll put this above there too. All right, so I shortened up the guard some, and it doesn't have the big guard like the V44X, but you can get pretty high up on the knife. You can get a lot higher, and you can do some, closer carving. This area up here is good for stopping the blade if you got a stab, or a stab this way. And I guess the handle is the important part. Like I said, that blade is about 7 3/8 from cutting portion to the tip. But this handle was kind of designed to be like a multi-position handle, where you can grab it here, you can choke up and still use the handle, and you can kind of use this midsection or choke way down for chopping. I wanted to kind of condense that handle, so you can pretty much just grab it right out of the sheath and do about anything with it. But you can rotate it forward for chopping or like some slicing. You choke up, do a reverse grip, and actually I'm really happy with how this handle turned out. Just a more stubby, compact version of the V44X handle. So since this is intended to be a belt knife, I rounded off a little piece in the pommel. You know, if anybody who's actually carried anything, they know that, you know, elbows and gear and just stuff just hits. And if something it doesn't have to be sharp, you know, like I want to make it sharp. So that's it. I think it took me about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours altogether to make this. And you know, I'm happy with how it turned out. I think, you know, this model makes sense. As far as, you know, like a field knife, I think you can still do, you know, a decent amount of chopping like this, you know, without having, you know, a really big type chopper. But it's small enough, you know, you can put it on your belt, and you know, it's not humongous. All right. Let me know what you guys think. And right now I'm working on a choil-less version of the V44X with the same handle, but with about a 9¼ inch blade. But I did want to, I've been wanting to start, you know, doing a fighter type field utility size. So who knows, maybe I'll call this the V44 Foxtrot uniform for field and utility, or fighting and utility. Not sure. But I think it does really feel, you know, like a good size knife. You know, it's still got, you know, like a weighted, you know, kind of belly for chopping. You know, good for slicing. I think you can do a lot with this knife. And it, of course, it's not going to chop as well as something like this, but I think that's a good compromise size for a knife that you can more easily carry on you. And this is about a little bit over 16 inches total. And the smaller one is 13 inches. So it's about 3 inches shorter. So that's may not sound like a lot, but that's a big difference when you're dealing with stuff hanging on your belt. All right, that's all I got. I guess let me show this real quick. This is the Work Tough Elbrus. I need to do a video on this also, but you can kind of see the size of these two compared to each other. And I don't know if you guys are curious how I made this. You know, I traced this out from the drawing, and I laid it on a 2x4, cut it out, cut the 2x4 down, and used a belt sander to take some of the material off. I did some of the other contouring with a Dremel. But I made another model out of wood too. I made my EDC version out of wood from a 2x4. So actually on the middle blank that I made, I about cut my thumb off with an angle grinder, and I flattened my middle finger with making this one. So I guess I need to be more careful. All right, you guys have a good night. Sorry I went long, but Just wanted to make sure I got some details in there. You know, I really do like this size knife. I think it's, you know, a really practical size, and you know, puts it into a field of knives that I think a lot of guys could carry with them versus having to, you know, maybe carry it on a baldric sling or put it on a bag. All right, well, definitely let me know what you think in the comments, and you guys have a good night.